Here.
No, you are there and I am here. Or
Yeah.
you are
Well,
here and I am there. Either way,
one or the other.
we're
We're
not
not.
both together.
We're not both in the same place. So.
Well, that could definitely be possible. I could have this blue background just sitting between us, and we could, in theory, be
We
in the same
could.
room.
We could. You could be. You could just be down at the next desk in my office.
No,
So.
instead, I am 1,800 miles away, give or take.
Yeah. Give or take some miles. I am running my demo. Going through my demo for tonight for first user group meeting where I demo squad. It's going to be a really simple demo, not much.
Cool.
So, but it's taking. I did the Pompidou example on
Timer
Brady's.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Pompidou timer in Python, and Danny, I have the Ocean 11 cast. Danny, my architect, is already up to 500 seconds working on things. So he's
Okay.
writing ADRs. So,
Nice.
yeah. Cool. Okay, well, take over, man. You're the you're the man, the myth, the legend.
Not it. Let's see. Let's share the screen this time and not the window entire screen. And I want to share that one. Let's see where we were on squad. So yesterday, I believe we left off with creating a whole bunch of issues.
Yeah.
So,
I think we were going to start with the exception handling.
yep, these 385, 386, 387, and maybe 388. So let's go see how they work. So it's going to come back here and start off Copilot again. Okay, it's ready. No, no updates. So let's say hello team to make sure it gets it gets all the squad and everything loaded. Because yesterday,
Yep.
for some reason, it just decided, oh, I don't see a squad.
Yeah, we didn't have any. No one showed up to work yesterday morning
Yeah.
or yesterday afternoon.
So let's see if it works today. For it's trying to figure it out. Found the team, the squad team. Cool. Now it should be looking at the team members. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Probably could do this before we start. Save a couple of seconds. Okay, I found the roster, issue source. I'm checking team's latest focus for any open squad label issues before I route anything. Nice. Current focus is initial squad setup, and there aren't any open squad issues on GitHub right now. Liar! There are. So, we decided yesterday to start standardizing the exception handlers. There were a few issues created for Dallas. I would like Dallas to tackle the first one. I think that was number 385. It's a good thing about this because I linked up the GitHub repo. As soon as I type number, it's going to look for issues or PRs. So it's kind of looking at the most recent added, which is 394, add data store. We want the 385, so it narrows it down. Now, once you hit enter, it kind of drops that drop down list. I do this all the time, and I forget to do a second enter, so I'm sitting here waiting, saying I've already hit enter. So let's go. Here it is. So one of the things I want to do is kind of give it some guidance as to what to do. So one of the things I like to do is make sure each issue has a branch. So I'm telling it right now that I want the branch names to be issue number and a brief description. It should log that as a decision, throw it in the inbox and everything else. Let's see if I missed anything while I was typing. So it's going to have Vasquez draft some test, Dallas pick up the issue. It's like I need to spawn tasks for include possible references, blah, blah, blah. Sitting work tree is false. Thinking eliminating domain and domain tests along with issue text. It seems like Vasquez can handle that, plus manager tests for style references is also helpful. Cool. So now it's trying to figure out how it should do everything. It's also mentioning here that it's going to include some of the extensions and other tests to make sure that they're all following it. It's in the domain portion of it. Let's take a look at 385 to make sure we got the right thing. Yes. Add foundational errors. This is not the first one we want to start with. I think they want to start with 386, but this will give it enough. So let's see where we are. Create branch directive. Cool. So it got the branch preferences. Dallas looks like it's off and running. So let's see what tasks are running now. So do task, it says that Vasquez is currently drafting tests for 375 and Dallas is working on implementing it. So let's switch over to Writer and see if those branches were created, see if they're actually doing work. Here, as you see, we have a 385 branch now, which says result foundation types domain layer. So at least it's a lot clearer as to what's happening. This is helpful when you have a couple of them running at different times. It's better to have a couple branches. Now, we might refine that branching strategy to add more of the conventional commits like feature or bug, or what I've been doing on some of my other projects is throwing it into a folder called squad, so it kind of separates it from the rest of the work I'm doing. But that's all up to you. As you can see, it's pretty easy to give it instructions as to what you want, and it will follow that going forward, hopefully without spelling errors like this milestone 3 Thea 18.
What are you saying about my spelling?
Saying it's great for someone that's in the Alien franchise. That's probably a planet or something.
Faye? Yeah.
Okay. Now look at that.
Okay.
The repo is now on branch. I captured the branch for a future issue work. So both workers are going to stay in the right line of work. They're both working on branch 385. Now this is where we play the wait game now. So they're going to be running in the background doing their thing. It can take anywhere from seconds to minutes, depending on a couple of different things. How big that work item is, your processing power, network connection, because all these calls are going back to GitHub Copilot API. That server, there's a bunch of things in there. Oops, forgot to turn off notifications. And I think that's most of the factors. Surveying skills, maybe there's something ready. Let's go see if there's actually any code that's been changed yet. So if I go back to Writer, I can look at the commit, see if there's any code changes. There's 3 new files already created. There is an error model. Come on. Okay. Let's go back in the diff's not going to work that way. I think it put it in the domain class, more speaker domain models. More speakers, domain models. Oh, did it put them in there and delete them? Oh, I'm not in the...
It's in the branch.
Yeah. I'm looking at remote. For some reason, it set a milestone branch as the active branch. There we go. There we go. So it created this error file, which, let's minimize you for now, has an error. Basically pass it in a code message. You see it automatically created the XML comments to it so that this class can be used elsewhere and have some intelligence to it, as well as individual fields for it. Result is also there. Same basic format. So this will be used throughout. I did notice one thing. So if you look here, we have a struct. We have 2 structs for it. One's result and one's result of type T. Now, typically, I would want each of these in their own separate file. So we can address that during the code review and tell it to do that. Then it's going to come up with a new name, or because they're both result, just different variations. Maybe we'll leave it the same. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get closer. And then there was a test that started to get added. Now, if you remember yesterday, we set up, or when we set up the squad, we set up that, it has to use fluid assertions, it uses mock, bogus, and XUnit. So we see XUnit is currently set up. It is, let's see, there's no real fluent assertions here because it's just basically tests. Oh, we got the answer to everything, 42. There's a lot of little clever things in there, but one of the things that you may or may not have noticed is that there's no real standard to it. It has an uppercase, kind of what is being tested, and then lower camel case of what's going to be done and what the value should be. So we might want to clean that up a little bit and give it more of a standard. But it also looks at some of the code inside and says we're going to probably have something like this. So our tests are a lot more equal. This is a weird one. Probably because it's equatable, it wants to use that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see where we are. Dallas landed the foundational work. Vasquez is in the last stretch, so I'm waiting for her to pass her test before I lock the batch. So it's almost done. So you have two different options when it's done. One is you can test it locally depending on what the change is, or you can have, if you have a CI/CD pipeline set up, you can have those tests run on commit, when a new branch is created, or you can go really YOLO and just have it, when it's done, create the PRs and then merge it. I don't recommend that one, especially in the very beginning while you're still getting to learn the team and it's learning your code base. So generally what I would do, as it sits right here saying that it's running the test, I'm going to give it a directive that says, I want Ripley to review all PRs once they're ready. Or you can have them review, once the team is done, review them locally and run the unit test to make sure that they're there. So, orchestrating the team workflow as Scribe. What that is doing is now making sure that what Dallas has done and Vasquez has done is kind of good, and then the Scribe is going to write everything out saying that that work was complete. I'm going to tell it to create the PR, and then I want Ripley to believe it, or to review it, since Ripley is the architect. Actually, I'm not going to do that right now because I want to test it locally just to make sure that it was there. Okay. Everything is done with it. So I'm just going to tell it, I'm going to validate it locally before a PR is done. Actually, what we can do is, let's go back here. Can Ripley, can you review the work done for number 385 to make sure it fits your architectural standards and project guidelines? So the Scribe is going to get Ripley. You'll see a thing loading up Ripley's skills and assigning it to the agent, and then Ripley will start doing it. Like, as you see here, I think we need to review Ripley's charter, blah, blah, blah. And then you get, it's reading the charter for Ripley, and then it's going to get the branch and check to see what changes are. So while that's happening, let's go take a look at the code, which we kind of already did. This file got modified because it added additionals. I don't know why domain didn't get modified. So let's just kind of make sure the app builds. So the control should be, or control 9 to make sure it builds. And because this isn't that complicated, I'm just going to run the test because it's not really affecting the main application yet. They just put in the quote unquote foundation for the error and result classes so that that can be used for the next step, which is 386. So that is almost done. More speakers functions is running. We're building. Let's get the test cases. Hey, where are my test cases? I don't have that window open. I guess because I haven't opened it yet since I rebuilt my machine yesterday. Let's check the build. The build's still going. See if Ripley came back yet. Ripley's still validating it. Mental note, before I start the next demo, day 4, I'm going to build a project. So it's already pre-built. I haven't built it today, so it's the first time it's running. So it's rebuilding every file. And it's not that big of a project either. If you look at it, it's, I think, 15 classes, 15 projects. If that. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
not
8.
huge.
And 10, 11. So should be building a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you got the Windows dust removed.
And I did.
If anyone was around yesterday, they will remember Joe had to repave his machine, so which everyone should do about once a year with Windows.
Yep, I was literally coming up on the 1 year mark. I think May 1st is the 1 year mark for this. Nope, could not open file. I guarantee that this is because Ripley's probably working on the solution now and tried to build it same time I did, which is probably why it took so long. I was just getting conflicts in Visual Studio or Writer. More intently, the Microsoft build was retrying it. As you can see here, this text right here, check difference, run, build, and test. So Ripley was doing that for us. I found a little bug in the app. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but this little tree for general, this is a bright white, and the little outlet is a muted
Oh yeah.
white.
Yep.
Interesting, because all the other spots
Or gray.
are gray.
They're all
except for
gray.
that.
Yeah, they're all light gray. Wonder why that one is.
Maybe because there's 2 of them in the working tree.
Yeah, maybe.
Trying to see if there's other occurrences of 2 of them. No, not since we started. Good thing is my remaining request really hasn't gone down. I don't see any tasks listed in here, so I'm going to ask Ralph what the status is. What is the status of the review? And then once Ralph picks that up, he's going to check into Ripley's stuff and see where it is. It looked like it went off on another window, but I don't see any tasks listed here. And it could be because this run update command is on there. Let's see if there's any tasks. Yeah, no background tasks. So it either hung or we got timed out. Am I still in the stream? Gotta unmute. Looks like I'm
What?
still on. No, just making sure you can hear me.
I can hear you. I'm listening. I'm looking at two screens. So you think it timed out and but the CLI is still, think it's
Yeah, because
validated?
it says validating,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is listed as pending. So
Pending.
my
So
command to Ralph didn't go, and
something else is going on.
there's no task running,
There's
which leads me to think that it just maybe it died when it got that error that I got here. So I am going to do is run the update. It's going to restart the it's going to restart, maybe not. That is weird. Control C. Operation cancel by user. Okay, reloaded. And Ralph, where are we with the code review?
I'll be right back.
These messages from your local brewery company. So it says, Ralph says that there's no active agents running. The review was interrupted, probably because we got that build with it at the same time. So I'm going to ask Ripley to re-kick it off. Can you kick off a review of number 385? So let's see what happens now. Review the foundation, blah, 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 blah. So restart it off. Ripley going through. We'll probably get the same thing where it's going to check the code, do a build, run the test, make sure all the tests pass. I really don't expect a lot from this one. It's going to be as we start getting a little bit more in there that Ripley might make recommendations for alternative ways of doing things.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Just take a quick look, see if there are any other files that were changed. Nope. Come on. Now the weird thing is with this, once this test is done, and it's not necessarily weird, it's just the nature of how it works. You know, we have quote unquote Ripley doing work and Ralph doing work and Dallas and the others. I can't remember their names yet. For the rest of the squad doing work, but whenever they commit anything or write any issues or create any PRs in Git, it all comes back as the person doing the work. So in this case, it's all going to come back with me. So all the work on GitHub is going to look like I did it, at least according to the GitHub signatures and everything. So all the comments are created by me. All the code is created by me, even though I didn't touch a piece of code. If you look at the Git history, it's
Yeah.
basically going to show me doing
You're
everything.
taking credit for all these smart agents.
Yes. The downside of that is on a project like this, remember yesterday when we created a PR, it required someone else to review it and approve it. So if I'm doing work here, even though I technically didn't write it, I can't approve it because from GitHub's perspective, it looks like I was the one that did it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So it's
Yep.
something to keep in mind if you're doing,
real
Team
team
stuff.
development.
because if it's a one-on-one project, like, that I'm working on with my side project, no one else is helping, so I don't have any of those kind of gates in there. But at some point, we're going to ask, who's in our charter to do that? At some point, we are going to ask, what's his name or her name? Squad agent or team. Look up team.
Is it Ripley?
No, we'll ask Parker to kind of review our branching strategy,
Oh, okay.
CI/CD, and he will
Oh,
create.
he's the DevOps guy.
He's a DevOps person, so he will create review gates and CI/CD tests, etc., for our application. Once we're ready to, I want to get this part done, and then that'll be, maybe tomorrow's thing. We'll get that. Since the others are just features we can add. And it's taking a long time to review that. I used up 0.2% of my request. Just make
Yeah,
sure.
it seems like Copilot is a little, or something's a little slow today.
Yeah. I mean, 4 minutes to
Either-
review that.
Either some LLM must be slow. Maybe it's a Claude.
Well, right now, we just finished it. Right now, we're using GPT 5.4,
Oh, okay.
at least according to right here, my screen. Okay, so Ripley approved it. Fully covered by the required tests. Awesome. Can we commit all the new files and create a PR for this work? The PR should follow the conventional, I think it's called conventional commit messaging, and a reference to the Git issue. It resolved. Cool. So what's going to happen now is that PR is going to get done because I put another note. The PR should follow convention commit messaging and a reference to it. The scribe's going to add that to the work. Add that as a requirement for it. So in a minute or so, I should see that it's done, and we'll see it here. Let's go back to Git now. We'll see a PR in a second or so. I think the next one that we wanted to work on is the 386. In the meantime, can we start working on number 386 as our initial proof of concept that the vertical slicing works. Think about whether you need to pass an agent and not having necessary presence already applied by the agent, but to be safe, I should include that. Also, I realize the commit message should follow conventional commit style references. The issue body PR probably should follow the same convention. All right, let's move on. So this Parker has what he needs. It's going to do it. You notice that Parker is using now Claude Haiku 4.5. So it's switched the model, because that model is probably a little bit better at handling the PR and or the documentation. So it says he's running the release steps now, commit first, then push, then open PR. So let's take a look at this and see if we have any PRs yet. That's usually something done really quick, and we don't. We look here, the commit was done according to writer. Who my terminal wants access. That means it's trying to access Git now. For those of you that might be wondering, watching this or watching it in the future, you see that pop up. I use 1Password to manage all my passwords on my machines, cell phones, everything. And it also has a developer feature to manage your SSH keys. So I have my SSH key from this machine to GitHub, and it's managed in 1Pass. So there's a setting in 1Pass to say prompt me for my credentials to make sure, so it just doesn't blindly let any app use those that SSH key, and wants to make sure it's me and that I know that it's happening. So that prompt is going to pop up every once in a while. Work is committed and push. Parker created the commit. Let's go take a look at it. Oh, I apparently have to, I want to copy this text, but I don't think I can. Let's see. Pure is blocked by GitHub. Open it after Git logon or use this direct link. PH auth login. I did not do this yesterday after I rebuilt my machine, so it's gonna log in to GitHub for the first time. While that's happening, let's go take a look at PR. So code was pushed, but the PR was not generated yet because it's probably waiting for this to finish. GitHub.com. That's the option, obviously if you're hosting Git Enterprise locally or Git Enterprise server, you would have chose option 2, but this is on github.com, so we have to authenticate with that, or to that, I should say.
I've been on mute. I was talking to you Has it warmed up down there?
77 right now, but it's been cloudy the last 2 days with a chance of rain. So, but it's been in the 90s and hundreds already. Hotter. It's been the earliest it's ever been 100 here.
That's weird. That's trying to do it again.
It never logged in the first time, even though I have it set up for SSH keys. I don't know why it's gonna. It doesn't support that yet, from what I remember. And it
Okay.
only can do the authentication token, so I have to do this. Copy that. Click that. Sign in. Click that. That's the code. I copied the extra text, didn't I? Stop moving. I'm trying to copy. A1BEA12. Continue. Authorize. Okay, now that I've done the device login, it's done. Cool. Now let's see if it finished with the PR. Okay. Can Parker finish creating the PR now? So now we got all that GitHub authentication working. We can finish the rest of this. You'll notice this message pop up every once in a while, compacting conversation history. After a couple of minutes or a lot of text, it just kind of shrinks all the logs a bit and then kind of runs any decisions out. So make sure you're just not having, hundreds of meg of text that it has to read through. Creating GitHub PR for branch. Okay, now can we start the work on number 386 to prove out that our proof of concept for the vertical slicing is working. Okay, so let me go check the PR because now it says it's done. And it's there. Let's take a look at it, see what it wrote out. So it did the feature domain add blah, blah, blah. So it's a good description. It added in what the change did. It tagged in issues 385 to 395, and it says it closes 385. So it's ready to go. So at some point, Woody, you can approve it, and they'll get that in our code base.
Okay, let me go approve it. Okay.
That's going
Approved
described.
and it's approved and merged.
So I'm going to tell it that it's been approved and merged. Please clean up the local and remote branches and merge the changes back into main. Now at some point we'll have it set up where it'll automatically delete the branches once they've been approved and cleaned up locally, but I don't think we have that configured yet. So as you see, there's some reasoning saying, I told him I want to clean up. It's not sure what it should do because 386 hasn't really started yet. Doesn't know if it needs to merge stuff back in. So it says here that Parker is going to handle the cleanup now. He'll sync main to merge 385, remove the old issue branches locally and remotely. So Parker will clean up everything there, and then Dallas should start the work on 386. Okay, local now has those changes. 385 is now gone. You're on main and matches, and 386 was left untouched. Okay, let's work on 386. So now it kind of stopped everything that was happening because I asked it to do something else that it thought was more important. So it stopped the work on 386, and now we're gonna kind of tell Dallas and whatever I'll eventually remember the tester's name out. So it looks like it might actually look at our skills first versus the individuals. Oh, here it goes. Now it's fixing it. So I gotta find a way to stop this. Should be allow for the next hour. So I have to keep doing that. The branch switch trip the PowerShell syntax, not repo state. I'm trying with native power. They got the sensitivity set too high on this. And once they get going, I think we can call it a day. There's no reason for us to sit and watch it again for, a couple of minutes or so. It's going to take, as we see here now, Dallas is using Claude Sonnet 4.5 to take care of the data, domain, and manager work, and to convert everything to results. Bishop, who's our UI person, is using Claude Sonnet 4.5 also, and going to be working with the Razor pages, the endpoints, the HTMX handlers, consuming the new expertise result. And then Vasquez is going to update all the tests and any new expertise unit tests because we didn't have everything fully covered on the previous version. So this is going to probably take a couple of minutes to go through. I think it'd be a good time for us to call it.
Okay. We can stop. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Cool.
Okay.
Bye all.